be with you.
And also with you.
The Holy Gospel, according to Luke. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, the home of Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. There they gave a dinner for him. Martha served, and Lazarus was one of those at the table with him. Mary took a pound of costly perfume made of pure nard, anointed Jesus' feet, and wiped them with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But Judas Iscariot, one of his disciples, the one who was about to betray him, said, "Why was this perfume not sold for 300 denarii and the money given to the poor?" He said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. He kept the common purse and used to steal what was put into it. "Leave her alone," Jesus said. "She bought it so that she might keep it for the day of my burial. You always have the poor with you. You do not always have me." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. Please be seated. Some years ago, I would go to the hospital to visit and then to her home to visit a parishioner I'll call Arlene. Arlene was advanced in years, and she was suffering from cancer. Now, as time went by, she became weaker, but wanted to stay in her home, and I was with her, and so was her adult daughter, when she passed away. Now, we planned her funeral together, and then the day of the funeral service at the church took place. Now, her adult daughter said to me at the funeral, "Your visits to my mother were so important to her." And I thought, well, I know what that was about, see, because I would have talks where I would teach her things and tell her things and explain things and give her wisdom that I had acquired as a spiritual genius over many years. And then her daughter said something quite different. Her daughter said, Arlene's daughter said, "My mother told me, whenever my pastor comes to visit, he always holds my hand." It was no brilliance to what I had taught her or insights that I had given her. I held her hand. And this was a great surprise and a learning to me. I didn't really need all that training and all that theological and biblical. I held her hand because it's what humans do. I didn't even think about, now I will hold Arlene's hand, but I must have just done it. Whenever my pastor comes to visit, he always holds my hand. Touch was what was important. Touch was what strengthened faith. Touch was what spiritually healed. Ashley Montague, the psychologist, says that we are all born as humanimals needing touch. He calls this skin hunger. Skin hunger. Now, all of us are different, and so the degree or the amount that we are comfortable with and like, that's different. But we began life being held. Do you know that this has been in medical knowledge for a long time? To quickly as possible get the newborn baby onto the mother's bare skin. Skin-to-skin contact. we are made in this way. It's our evolutionary biology. The famous Harlow experiments, again done by psychologists with baby monkeys. And in these experiments, Harlow made a wire monkey that held a bottle of milk. Then he made a cloth monkey that was wrapped in like warm lambskin. Those baby monkeys hung out with the mother they could touch and cuddle with, even though the wire mother had the bottle of milk. This is how we are made. And in the gospel story today, it is an extremely sensual gospel. It's very sensual, so that the smell of the perfume, the nard, fills the fragrance of the house. The fragrance fills the whole house. Now, it's touch. She pours this perfume, this nard, onto Jesus' feet, bare feet. She lovingly caresses them with the perfume. And then she dries his feet with her hair. Gospel stories don't get any more sensual than this. We are embodied beings. And it is through the body that we experience love. God is love. Love is God. We experience love through our embodied selves. Jürgen Moltmann, one of my favorite theologians, says, "Do you not know that in Jesus of Nazareth, we get a God who has skin hunger? We get God needing to be touched, needing to be healed." This is a close friendship between Jesus and Mary of Bethany, the sister of Lazarus. Only a few weeks ago, her brother had died. She was grieving and mourning, and she was angry with Jesus. "If you had been here, my brother would not have died." He raises Lazarus from the dead. And now Lazarus is sitting at the dinner table. And the formerly grieving, devastated sister is so thankful. Now, it might be that Jesus talked to her and told her what he expected to happen in the coming 6 days. It says, 6 days before the Passover, he's arrested on the night of the Passover. He dies a horrible death the very next day. So for him, at this dinner, although everyone is enjoying a festive occasion, he is aware that he has only a little time left. And he needs touch. And he's grateful for touch. And he gets really defensive of her. "Leave her alone." Judas Iscariot comes off the worst in the Gospel of John. He's a thief. He used to steal from the common purse. Other gospel authors don't tell this part. But he's spiritually empty. He's unable to either enjoy the festivities of the occasion or to key in on his master and the melancholy, the sadness, and the fear in Jesus. And he's unable to be vulnerable enough to witness this beautiful, tender, sensual experience that Jesus and Mary share. Instead, he complains. People misuse this passage stupidly all the time. Well, see, we'll always have the boar with us, Jesus said, so don't worry about it. That's not what's going on. He's quoting Deuteronomy 15, which says, "Always keep your hand open to those, for there will always be those who have less and not enough." And he's aware that he has very little time left. We will remember this soon. Next week is Passion, Palm Sunday. And we'll hear the story of his death. So Jesus of Nazareth is no wild-eyed revolutionary. He's not hopping and skipping to his joyful death. He's afraid. He's afraid to die. He doesn't want to die. He loves life. He loves his friends. He loves food. He loves wine. He loves the mountains. He loves to sleep outdoors in the Olive Garden. And he is so appreciative that he is touched. He needs this. In Jesus, we get a God who needs to be touched. There's a sign that we share, a sacramental, during the worship service. I remember when I was first ordained, this had been new for many congregations, to share the peace of Christ. It was new. And I remember somebody saying to my supervisor, my supervising pastor, "We already greeted each other on the way into church. Why are you making us greet each other again?" Somebody didn't explain that very well. When you arrive at church, you should greet each other. That's nice. You should greet people who don't look familiar to you. That's very nice. You should listen to Sue Clark. There's a visitor with us. But this is something different. When I'm at the altar and I say, "The peace of Christ be with you," I mean it. And when you touch the person beside you or behind you, do you not know, Martin Luther writes, Christ is touching Christ. This is not a greeting, "How's the knee? How's work? How's your car? Did you fit?" It's the peace of Christ. Now, you may be having just a fine, happy Sunday. I hope you are. But you and I have no idea what has happened this week or what is going on in the life of someone who is sitting next to you. And they may desperately need to have their hand held. They may desperately need to hear the sacrament words, "The peace of Christ be with you and also with you," involving touch, involving the peace of Christ which comes through the God who needs to be touched. Brothers and sisters, this is a great gift that we have. And we think to ourselves, how lucky we are that as Christians we center our understanding and our relationship with God in Jesus. And Jesus is the God who needs to be touched and the Christ who needs to be touched in the people around you, in your lives, and here as we gather for worship. Every week, just about, I encourage a particular reflection or prayer that you could do this coming week. I'd invite you in your prayer to look at your hands. And you think about the people who have embraced you since your babyhood. Think about who those hands have touched and embraced. Think about love that was shared. See, this is part of the good news. Whenever you show up for God and you ask for a visit, your God always holds your hand.